hours of waiting, people can finally go inside the new Hobby Lobby in Bozeman. I'm Cody Boyer to show you that grand opening.
Residents in the small community of Ramsey, west of Butte, are continuing their fight against a proposed truck stop.
Just ahead of 6:30, we're back here on Montana This Morning. Caitlin Corbett and Chet Lehman. We were talking about the wind just a few minutes ago. Not too bad today?
No, it's just picked up in a couple of places
Yeah.
out there for the most part. I don't think we're going to see a lot of windy conditions like we had seen certainly earlier in the week or last weekend. You can see there on the map, though, starting to blow in Dillon, Livingston just a little bit. Lewistown seeing some wind and some rain, too. That makes it super fun. Rest of us, it's not too bad out there. Satellite and radar shows why as this system just continues to work its way through. There is some rain showers in Lewistown, Great Falls, that direction. Here in southwest Montana, temperatures in the low to mid 40s for the most part. A little cooler in the higher elevations. Wise River, West Yellowstone, you can see in the upper 30s. Again, no real measurable amounts of moisture right now. Today, going to warm up in the Bozeman area up into the low 60s with those rain showers, if we get any in the morning, giving way to some partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Much the same for Butte, starting in the 40s, warming up into the low 60s. Again, just a scattered chance of a shower out there. Sun should come out to go down, though, and that'll be really nice. And then it gets better as the week wraps up. Detailed forecast, 10 minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Chet. The Great American Outdoors Act is on its way to becoming law. As MTN's Dennis Bragg reports, it's a sweeping piece of legislation designed to provide permanent funding to the 55-year-old Land and Water Conservation Act.
Montana's senators have been expressing confidence the Great American Outdoors Act would finally succeed where other efforts had failed, permanently allocating dollars for the LWCF, the primary tool for conservation and public lands access. And when the votes were counted early Wednesday, the idea passed with a huge majority across party lines.
LWCF, as we think about it for Montana and for the nation, is good for public access, it's good for jobs, it's good for wildlife habitat, it's good for land management. And the best part about it, it costs the taxpayer nothing. When you think about Montana and our fishing accesses, 70% of the fishing access sites across Montana have been funded by LWCF.
This victory wasn't easy, and it certainly didn't happen overnight. We worked long and hard across the aisle with local conservation groups and public lands advocates around the country to build broad support where it never existed before.
In fact, Tester believes it was that broad support, including a positive conversation between Daines and President Trump, which finally convinced Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to clear the way for the legislation. Congress had already decided to keep the Land and Water Conservation Fund a couple of years ago, but there was no money in the checking account. Passage of the Great Outdoors Act takes care of that. While reaction is positive from many groups, a few critics have expressed concerns the act just means more federal land ownership in Montana. Dane says it's about removing barriers to public lands, while Tester notes LWCF doesn't target tillable lands.
We have about 1.5 million acres of federal lands in Montana that are inaccessible to the public. And so this is a very important conservation tool that allows us to get access to federal lands that otherwise aren't accessible.
Where this bill has been particularly useful is willing buyer, willing sellers. In a situation where you have a checkerboard pattern within our national forest, which is very, very, very common, and being able to block those acreages. By the way, using private sector, primarily nonprofits, to do that.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
The Great American Outdoors Act now goes to the House for approval. A new study by the National Park Service and the U.S. Geological Survey says Yellowstone National Park pumps $642 million a year into local economies. That report, based on research in 2019, also says the park supported 7,000 local jobs in a wide range of industries. Most of those jobs were created in the hotel industry and other accommodations. Next was restaurants, followed by recreation industries, retail business, and transportation also accounted for sizable numbers of people employed because of park activity. The dollars the park puts into local economies has remained remarkably steady since the year 2015. Superintendent Cam Shawley says the report shows how important it is for the park to work with local communities to balance business interests with preserving Yellowstone's valuable resources. The Beaverhead County Sheriff's Office is investigating 2 reports of vandalism at campgrounds in the Wise River area. Over the past 3 weeks, campers reported tires to their camp trailers and vehicles being slashed and rafts being slashed and sent adrift down the river. Investigators are asking for information from anyone who has seen any suspicious activity in that area.
In any other case, if you see something like unusual activity, contact us and give us the information, and try to get a license plate number if possible. At the very least, a good description of vehicles and people involved.
People with information are asked to contact Deputy Ken Peterson, that number 406-683-3700. The legal battle over a proposed truck stop being built west of Butte isn't over quite yet. MTN's John Amy tells us opponents of that project are giving it another try.
Residents of the small community of Ramsey are continuing their fight against a proposed truck stop that wants to locate next to the community west of Butte. The residents are appealing last year's approval of a liquor license for Love's Travel Stop. The company plans to build the travel stop with parking for more than 100 trucks and a casino to serve liquor in this field right next to the small community. Residents here in Ramsey say this is a safety issue because the truck stop will bring added traffic, including noise pollution and potential crime. A hearing on the appeal was held this week in Butte District Court before Judge Robert Whalen, who will make a decision at a later date. In Ramsey, John Amy, MTN News.
And Love's officials say they need the liquor license and casino to be competitive and say their stores are well managed and won't be a burden on the residents of Ramsey. After 2 years of speculation, Hobby Lobby is now open in Bozeman. MTN's Cody Boyer shows us how even in the middle of a pandemic, people still like to get crafty.
I was anxious to get to the store. We've been waiting for quite a while for it to open.
It's a moment Hobby Lobby shoppers like Florence Curtis say they've been waiting for since September 2018. That's when the Oklahoma-based company first announced it would be moving into Bozeman in May 2019. Except that never happened. Did you ever think that this day might not come?
For a while we were wondering about it, but now we're very happy to be here.
Then another announcement, this time in March 2020, aiming for May again. But the pandemic had other plans. That's when job postings started to appear online. According to a Hobby Lobby news release, the store aimed to hire between 35 and 50 people, with full-time employees getting $15.70 an hour, part-time $10.45, with some co-manager positions still listed. Despite the wait, Florence says it's just good news that it's here.
Just so much to choose from in the store. There's such a variety of items. It's great. It's really great.
You may have noticed some of those people, some are wearing masks, others aren't, and that's because Hobby Lobby does not require the usage of masks. It's just a healthy recommendation. But at the same time, early in the morning at least, they were operating in capacity waves. When there was a lot of people, they would wait until the first batch would move through and some would leave before letting in a next wave of people. From here on out, the store will be open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mondays through Saturdays. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Hobby Lobby is actively practicing social distancing with customers allowed in a few at a time while others wait until a few leave before they can go inside. Food banks across our area have been hit hard by the pandemic. They cannot accept food donations right now, while demand for their services has skyrocketed. MTN and our parent company, Scripps, have donated $6,000 each to the Gallatin Valley Food Bank and the Butte Emergency Food Bank. Now we're hoping you can help us match those donations. Join us this afternoon from 4:30 to 6:30. Cody Boyer and John Amy will be live on KBZK and KXLF's Facebook pages to raise money for our neighbors in need. You know it's going to be a good time with those two involved, so please make sure to join us on Facebook later this afternoon. And that's definitely something you don't want to miss. Well, there's new finding about your blood type and COVID-19 coming up. What doctors are finding out about the chance that you'll get more severe symptoms depending on the type of blood you have. First, though, here's a look at what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, CBS News has a copy of John Bolton's new book that the Trump administration is frantically trying to block. House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff joins us with his reaction to some of the serious claims. Also, Dr. Tara Narula answers your questions on how to safely visit a doctor's office in the new normal. And in our More Perfect Union series, meet the surprising duo who created a mural with an inspiring message. All that coming up when we see you at 7.